Although the crypto market has been rallying, most altcoins have been lagging. One of the few exceptions, though, is Fantom, whose FTM coin pumped by almost 2x in just a few weeks. While FTM has fallen considerably since its local top, the catalyst that caused it to pump is still in play. This begs the question of just how high FTM could go, and when. So today, we're going to explain what Fantom is, bring you up to speed with the project's most important updates, look at what it's planning next, and examine what it all means for FTM. It's been over 2 years since we last covered Fantom, so it's safe to say that a refresher is in order. Here goes. Fantom is a Layer 1 cryptocurrency that was founded by South Korean computer scientist An Byung-ik in 2018. An stepped away from Fantom in 2019, leaving it in the hands of the Fantom Foundation, a non-profit based in the Cayman Islands. It is headed by Australian crypto developer Michael Kong, with Andre Cronje as president. Now, for context, Andre is one of the best developers in crypto. He built Fantom's core technology and multiple blue-chip DeFi protocols too. Fantom raised roughly $40 million across 2 ICOs in 2018, and its mainnet launched in late 2019. Under the hood, Fantom uses a directed acyclic graph, aka DAG, that leverages a novel proof-of-stake consensus mechanism called Lachesis that's capable of processing up to 2,000 transactions per second. Of course, the trade-off is centralization. According to the official Fantom Explorer, Fantom has just 65 validators. Fortunately, Fantom recently lowered the minimum stake to become a validator to 50,000 FTM, which is around $42,000 right now. For reference, it was 500,000 FTM before. Validator staking rewards are 15% with a 7-day lockup. Delegation is also possible with a minimum of 1 FTM. Staking rewards depend on the lockup. The minimum of 7 days gives you 2%, whereas the maximum of 1 year gives you just over 6%. Note that misbehaving validators are slashed 100%, including delegated FTM. Now, besides staking, FTM is used for governance and to pay transaction fees. Both functions are innovative. Governance allows you to vote on a sliding scale rather than a yes or no. Meanwhile, 70% of transaction fees goes to validators, 15% goes to developers of popular dApps, 10% goes to the treasury, and 5% is burned. FTM had an initial and maximum supply of 3.175 billion, which was allocated as follows. Roughly 42% to investors, 7.5% to the team, 12% to advisors, 6% for the community treasury, and just under 33% for staking rewards. The original vesting schedule can be seen here. Now, it was set to end late last year, but not all FTM's supply is in circulation yet. This is because of a governance proposal that was passed in the summer of 2022 to reduce the staking rewards and extend said staking rewards to the summer of 2027. All other FTM allocations finished vesting back in 2020. Now, Fantom is famous for being a DeFi chain, though it is technically a general-purpose Layer 1. Fantom's DeFi focus is part of why it was one of the hardest hit by the collapse of Terra's UST stablecoin in May 2022, which was widely used in DeFi. As you can see, Fantom's TVL fell off a cliff and never recovered. Similarly, the number of daily transactions on Fantom has been flat over the last year or so, hovering at around 200,000. This is consistent with data from dApp Radar, which suggests that dApps on Fantom have between 30 and 50,000 monthly active users in total, assuming minor overlap. The caveat is that this is the case for most other Layer 1s and even many Layer 2s. In contrast to other crypto projects, Fantom continued building during the bear market and is in the process of making a major change to its entire ecosystem. We'll come back to that towards the end of the video, don't you worry. On that note, if you're enjoying the video so far, be sure to bang that like button to give it a boost and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next altcoin update. Note that we'll also leave a link to our previous Fantom update in the description if you're interested. Just remember that it was over 2 years ago when yours truly was less lived in than he is today. Time can be cruel. Anyway, it goes without saying that a lot has happened since our last Fantom update. To refresh your memory, our update came shortly after Andre and another core member of Fantom had stepped away from the project. However, Andre returned a few months later, something he had done before. In a subsequent interview, Andre revealed that he never actually stopped working on Fantom, he just wanted to step away from the public eye. This is understandable given that sentiment in the crypto market wasn't the best at the time, and developers like Andre were being blamed for things they couldn't control. Some of you might recall that shortly after Andre departed Fantom, specifically April 2022, he published a blog post about crypto regulation. Not surprisingly, this post didn't go over well with the crypto community. It seems Andre was onto something though, because FTX collapsed just a few months later. Now, as I mentioned a few moments ago, Fantom was hit hard by the collapse of Terra's UST, though its DeFi ecosystem was reportedly already experiencing problems prior to the collapse. In short, someone had taken out a sizable loan collateralized by FTM, which had to be liquidated, causing FTM to tank. The bad news for Fantom's DeFi ecosystem then continued into the summer when Aave, the most popular lending and borrowing protocol, passed a proposal to indefinitely disable its implementation on Fantom. At the time of shooting, this is still the case, and it's not clear if or when Aave will be re-enabled. After FTX collapsed in November 2022, however, FTM was one of the few cryptos that rallied hard. That's because Andre revealed that the Fantom Foundation had over $340 million of assets to fund development, including $100 million in stablecoins, giving Fantom over 30 years of runway. FTM pumped again in December when Andre revealed that the project would be doubling down on building as many high-quality dApps as possible. This included making an adjustment to FTM's fee structure, which was subsequently changed to start rewarding popular dApps with a cut of said fees in May 2023. In January 2023, Fantom had made a similar change, which was to give a cut of fees to the community treasury. It has since collected over $1 million worth of FTM, a quarter of which has already been spent on developer incentives. Odd that they do this given the Fantom Foundation's runway, though. In any case, Fantom continued delivering on its promises to expand its dApp ecosystem in March 2023 with the release of a new web wallet that can be easily accessed using popular browser extension wallets like MetaMask. The community also voted to lower the minimum validator stake to 50,000 FTM. Then, in April 2023, Fantom partnered with a platform called D.Fi to ensure that its dApps are as secure as possible. Funnily enough, another DeFi protocol called Stargate simultaneously proposed to de-risk from any USDC, a form of bridged USDC on Fantom provided by AnySwap, later renamed to Multichain. Now, if that name sounds familiar, that's because Multichain was reportedly exploited for over $1.5 billion in July of 2023. The thing is that it technically wasn't an exploit. Andre and Michael explained in an interview that the CEO of Multichain was arrested by Chinese authorities who then seized the funds. Andre and Michael also revealed that most of the crypto that had been deposited from Fantom's side had come from users. This has made it difficult for them to get involved in the case, as the money technically isn't theirs. But it seems that progress has since been made, at least in Singaporean courts. Regardless, the takedown of Multichain hit Fantom hard, as it damaged both the project's reputation and its ecosystem. FYI, everyone had assumed that Multichain was decentralized, including Andre, hence why Fantom had promoted it. The ecosystem damage almost caused Fantom's top DEX to shut down. Fortunately, though, sentiment started improving in September 2023. That's because Google Cloud announced that it would be adding support for Fantom's DAG, along with other major blockchains. Now, this is significant because it suggests that institutions like Google do in fact see Fantom as a major layer 1. Unfortunately, the sentiment soured again in October 2023 when wallets associated with the Fantom Foundation were hacked. The Fantom Foundation itself only lost around $500,000 of crypto, but one of its employees, presumably one of the higher-ups, reportedly lost $7 million of crypto. The wallets were hacked because of an exploit of Google Chrome, by the way, and this just underscores the importance of keeping any crypto you're not actively trading on a hardware wallet. And if you don't have a hardware wallet, you can get a discount on the best ones on the Coin Bureau deals page, link in description. Now, thankfully, October ended on a positive note thanks to the announcement of the Fantom Sonic testnet. For now, all I'll say is that Sonic is a major upgrade to Fantom. As you'll see, this is an understatement as it will fundamentally change the direction of the project. Anyways, in November 2023, Fantom made the bittersweet announcement that it had awarded a $1.7 million bounty to a developer who had discovered the vulnerability that caused its wallets to be drained. What's crazy is that $170 million of crypto was at risk. Remember, link in description. Anyhow, in December 2023, the Fantom Foundation announced the launch of Sonic Labs, which is apparently just a developer program for Fantom Sonic. I say apparently because Michael revealed in an interview that Sonic had, or was, looking to raise money from VCs, meaning Sonic Labs could in fact be an entity. Anywho, in March of this year, FTM went vertical after Michael announced what is essentially the beginning of Sonic's gradual launch, which I will come to later, I promise. FTM continued to pump in April after the Fantom Foundation announced that Fantom would finally be getting its first canonical stablecoin, USDC.E. What was not so bullish, however, was Andre's warning that the crypto market could experience another Terra-level collapse, alluding to Ethena, a novel stablecoin protocol on Ethereum. Obviously, Andre is not the first one who said this, but it was taken more seriously given his extensive experience and knowledge. On a more positive note, Andre also defended Solana despite its outage and performance issues. As a fun fact, Andre believes that the Solana virtual machine is the most advanced of any cryptocurrency. However, it seems that he only sees Avalanche as the only real competitor to Fantom. Food for thought. Another thing Andre did in April was publish a blog post about how to make safer meme coins. Michael then followed up by announcing concrete plans by the Fantom Foundation to facilitate exactly that in May. This foreshadows a meme coin craze similar to that of Solana, but a lot more, well, safe. Now, all of Fantom's announcements, updates, and developments have had a predictable effect on FTM's price action. It fell by 90% in early 2022, bottomed at 16 cents when FTX collapsed, and rallied by almost 4x 1 month later. It then drifted down by 70% to 18 cents before recovering in 2023. Then, in February this year, FTM started to go parabolic, presumably because of updates related to the Sonic upgrade, which I promise, yes, we'll get to eventually. Additional Sonic updates took FTM on a tear totaling over 2x. What's interesting, though, is that FTM seems to have rallied a bit before the actual Sonic updates. What's even more interesting is that FTM has been rallying despite its depressed on-chain activity. This suggests that FTM's primary demand driver has been pure speculation, which is a double-edged sword. Speculation tends to take crypto prices higher very quickly, but they often fall just as fast. Case in point, FTM fell by almost 50% before the recent rally. What comes next is unclear, but the weekly chart appears to be painting a wonky head and shoulders pattern that looks eerily similar to the topping pattern FTM saw in late 2021. Notably, this pattern implies that there could be one more leg higher. This would not be surprising, considering that the first governance vote related to the Sonic upgrade is set to conclude on the 25th of May, so it may have already happened depending on when you see this video. Given that FTM's price action has been driven by everything Sonic related, this is an easy enough catalyst to spot. And if you want to try your hand trading this catalyst, then maximize your profits with the Coin Bureau deals page. It's got trading fee discounts of up to 60% and sign-up bonuses of up to $60,000 on the best crypto exchanges. These deals are only available for our viewers and for a limited time only, so take advantage of them ASAP by using the link in the description. Now, zooming out on the weekly chart suggests that FTM could rally as high as $1.60 in the short to medium term, where it will likely stall out due to resistance, aka bag holders from the previous bull market. After that, it's anyone's guess, but FTM has some solid pumpamentals, so to speak. It has a low price tag and a market cap that isn't so large as to prohibit an epic pump. The fact that FTM's supply has already vested to investors and the team suggests there will be minimal sell pressure from their side, particularly when you factor in the Fantom Foundation's apparently enormous runway. To put things into perspective, FTM's supply has increased by around 250 million since we last covered the project. Assuming an average price of around 50 cents, this means up to $125 million worth of sell pressure, which sounds like a lot, but works out to just $2.5 million per month. From our perspective, the only thing that FTM is missing is a narrative that retail investors can understand and more retail accessibility. Specifically, FTM is not currently listed on Coinbase, though it's possible this could change if regulations in the US change or when Fantom launches the Sonic token. On that note, the launch of the Sonic token is what makes it so hard to project FTM's price out further than a few months. The governance proposal that's currently in play would make it possible to swap FTM 1-to-1 for the S token, whose tokenomics are unknown at the time of shooting and which will likely be volatile. FTM's future potential ultimately depends on what happens with Sonic, which is the current focus of Fantom's roadmap. I'll start by saying that some of the details related to Sonic and the S token are still up in the air and could change by the time you see this video. That said, here is what we know so far. Per the first blog post about Sonic in October last year, Sonic is an upgrade to Fantom's DAG platform, currently called Opera. Sonic makes 3 changes to Opera. It introduces an improved version of the EVM, called the FVM, reduces storage requirements for validators, and optimizes the Lachesis consensus. The comparison between Sonic and Opera can be seen here. You'll notice it's quite technical. The key difference is that Sonic will be able to process 2,000 transactions per second with 1 second finality without generating as much data. This will improve Fantom's overall decentralization over time. The key innovation, at least in our opinion, is the FVM. As some of you will know, the EVM is inherently limited to around 400 transactions per second or so. The FVM makes it possible to process 2,000 transactions per second while being fully compatible with EVM tools and technologies. In other words, Sonic is just an upgrade to Fantom, at least at first glance. Upon closer inspection, however, Sonic will include a whole series of other changes and features, including bridges, simplified staking, liquid staking, parallelized processing, off-chain sharding, and yes, the launch of a new token called S. All of these changes will be voted on by FTM holders, and I'll remind you that they're currently voting for the 1-to-1 token swap between FTM and S. Details about the swap and the S token can be found in the original governance proposal on Fantom's forum, which we'll link to in the description. What's fascinating is that the governance proposal not only refers to the Sonic network as an entirely new chain, i.e. not a part of Fantom, but, quote, a Layer 1 platform that connects to Ethereum via a bespoke Layer 2 bridge, allowing Sonic to tap into vast amounts of liquidity, users, and protocols. Put simply, it sounds like the Sonic network will be a de facto Ethereum Layer 2, but we'll come back to that in a second. The governance proposal notes that, if approved, FTM will be swappable for S. Initially, this will be possible in both directions, and initially, S will have the same tokenomics as FTM. The governance proposal also contains 3 additional proposals that will be tabled: an airdrop of the S token, the launch of a growth program for Sonic Network, and a validator rewards program that will effectively incentivize validators from Fantom to switch to securing the Sonic network instead. When you combine this with the fact that it will only be possible to swap FTM for S in the future, it makes it crystal clear that Fantom is looking to phase out FTM entirely and switch to Sonic network. Not only that, but it suggests that Fantom is seeking to become a part of Ethereum's ecosystem. Additional evidence for this can be found in interviews with Michael and Andre. In an interview in late March, Michael practically confirmed that Sonic Network will be an Ethereum Layer 2. He also revealed that the tokenomics for S will be different from those for FTM, hence the initially in the governance proposal. He explained that the reason why Fantom is making all these changes is to tap into the liquidity and user base of Ethereum. He also noted that large FTM holders were the ones who pushed for this change, and that Sonic Network is starting fresh with VC capital to, quote, correct the mistakes of the past. What was eye-opening to us was the fact that Fantom seems to be getting closer to the likes of Circle and Pith Network, both of whom are heavily backed by Wall Street. In fact, it wouldn't be far-fetched to say that Sonic Network may be trying to position itself as not only an Ethereum Layer 2, but a Solana killer as well. We suspect this because Andre revealed in an interview last December that Fantom plans to leverage the SVM in some way, and you'll remember that he believes that the SVM is the best virtual machine out there. For those unaware, virtual machines are what make it possible to have smart contracts. What's annoying is that Michael revealed in an interview that the Fantom Foundation has an internal roadmap for the Sonic network and the S token. In a presentation in October last year, he revealed some parts of this roadmap, disclosing that Fantom will start looking into horizontal scaling early next year. The problem is that it's not entirely clear if this roadmap still applies, given all the constant changes. So this brings me to the challenges that Fantom faces. The first challenge is the elephant in the room, and that's the Sonic upgrade. While Sonic was initially pitched as an upgrade to Fantom, it has now become a separate cryptocurrency. Meanwhile, Fantom itself will gradually be wound down and disappear. This is all well and good, but the communication about these plans has not been. We suspect this lack of clarity and consistency isn't coming from the Fantom Foundation, but from the FTM holders and VCs that Michael admitted were driving all of these changes. They're probably wondering how to maximize their profits. Creating a brand new blockchain that's tethered to Ethereum's ecosystem makes sense, as it will increase the likelihood that Sonic Network will get a cut of Ethereum's liquidity and adoption, per Michael's admission. But the fact that Fantom is also considering the SVM suggests this is likewise up in the air. The good news is that these changes could result in the S token being listed on the likes of Coinbase, as it allows Fantom to restart from a sort of blank slate. The bad news is that this could alienate the Fantom community, and that could mean that Fantom will also need to restart its adoption from scratch. This ties in to Fantom's second challenge, and that's competition. There are lots of Layer 2s out there, and there will be more once the dust settles around Sonic. It's not clear how Sonic will stand out, particularly when the VCs Fantom is working with likely have even larger allocations to its competitors. The competition will get even more intense if Fantom, or rather Sonic, decides to go head-to-head with the likes of Solana. There are lots of Solana killers out there too, and they are somehow even more well-capitalized than the Fantom Foundation claims to be. Some of them, like Say, also seem to be faster. And this relates to Fantom's third challenge, and that's adoption. Fantom's aforementioned on-chain metrics don't look promising, and they haven't been improving. Even though most other Layer 1s aren't looking too hot either, most of them still have seen improvement in terms of things like DeFi TVL. This underscores what we pointed out earlier, and that's that Fantom seems to be relying on pure speculation to get by until the Sonic upgrade, or rather, launch. So far, that's been working, but it hasn't translated into any on-chain activity. It's almost as if all the users left for other chains. For what it's worth, we believe that Fantom will overcome these challenges if it manages to improve its communication and information surrounding the Sonic network. This includes clarifying what niche or narrative it falls into. Is it an Ethereum Layer 2? Or is it a Solana killer? Now, this is extremely important. At the end of the day, it's the strength of a narrative that causes a crypto project to go up by 100x. As Andre has stressed in his interviews, Fantom isn't all about DeFi, and Sonic Network technically isn't a Layer 2. However, that won't stop users and investors from assigning narratives to these cryptos. Once it becomes clear what narrative Sonic Network falls into, the Fantom Foundation should lean into it. In our view, this is the only way to maximize the adoption and growth of Fantom's current and future ecosystems. The best part of all is that it will ensure FTM, or rather S, will see impressive price action as a result. And note that you can learn more about the biggest crypto narratives of this bull market using the link in the description. Okay, how about that, folks? We got to the end of the video without me making some lame joke about ghosts. I must be losing my touch. Okay, that's all for today. So if you found this video informative, be sure to slap that like button to let us know. If you want to stay informed about crypto projects, then subscribe to the channel and ping that notification bell. If you want to inform others about Fantom, then be sure to share this video with them. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. This is Guy, signing off.